here. And like we said, I'm gonna try to keep today's shir like relatively short and straightforward. I'm gonna leave us some time for the question and answer things. We really just go over somewhat an overview of what the next upcoming issues are. Keeping an eye on the fact that it is a Thursday, and we're basically taking a break from the Sigah, whether or not we like it or not. Over Friday and Shabbos. So I want to try to finish this part up, and then Sunday, Be'ez Hashem, we're going to go on with the next the next item. So yesterday at the end of Shir, we sort of like a little bit too quickly rushed through a discussion about a Rambam and a Rashba. So I really think we should make sure to be doing that more properly right now. So we're gonna pick up with that, and then we're gonna move on to the mamish brand new things for the rest of the day. So let us begin. Okay, is that a classic case of a sea bag and shorts right over there? Something like that. Okay, so so let's go over here one more time that Rashba and Rambam, and we're going to explain, hopefully properly, where things were at. The Rambam, as we noted yesterday, the Rambam speaks about the case of Ein Yodei in Praticha. Right? So he begins. I want to read inside just so we can make sure all the Dukei Halashon are there. Mana li biyadacha, mana yesh li biyadacha bevadai, right? Bevadai. You have a mana li biyadacha. Hanitba omer kain hoyelacha biyad. Yep, that was true. But Ein Yodei im hechzarti lacha, or dayin lo hechzarti lacha. But I don't remember if I paid it back to you yet or not. He's chayiv the shalim, and the tovei doesn't have to take any shvuah. You just straight up you're chayiv to pay. The Rambam continues with Bnei Shehu Yodei Bavadai Shehu Chayiv, since he knows for sure he's Chayiv. And he's there towing also Tainas Vadai. The other guy's coming with a Tainas Vadai, so okay, you have to pay. The Rambam continues now, and here's where the language of the Rambam is subject to some debate. In other words, the Rambam presents something that's a little bit controversial here. And the Rambam now says like this. One second, I just lost my place here. If there's no actual toveya and the person is being modeh by himself, ve'omer gizalticha, I stole from you, hilvisani maneh, I borrowed a maneh from you, avicha hifkid etzli maneh, your father was mafkid a maneh by me, ve'eni yodeh mechzartiv, v'lo hechzartiv. Remember, if I paid it back in that, there ain't no chayiv l'shalim. There I'm not going to be chayiv to pay. Now, the Rambam here is very interesting in and if there's lots of Shemayim, it's a good idea to pay. So the Rambam gives a case over here. There was no toveya, ain't no toveya, okay? And he's modeh on his own, right? Gizaticha ilvisani maneh, avicha hifkid etzli maneh, your father had given me a maneh, etc. So those are the Rambam's examples of where there's not going to be, there's no teveya, so there's not going to be a din of any of the day in praticha, despite the fact that what the guy basically saying is, in fact, any yodeya in praticha. Right? Those are words. It's just he's not going to be chayav to pay because the absence of the teveya. Now, here's where we get some a little bit interesting, okay, and this is the issue that the Rabbi Kiva mentioned to you yesterday. Raises. If you have the Frankel edition of the Rambam, the red Rambams with the notes, in them, so they also contain the Hakadosh or Rabbi Kiva on the Rambam. So if you look in Hilchos She'elo Pikadon, in the beginning of Perek Dalet Halacha Aleph, you notice that Rabbi Kiva there also discusses this the same idea. And he points out as follows. If you look in Simon Ayin Hay in Choshen Mishnah, you'll notice that the Tur and the Shulchan Aruch, when they bring down this halacha that if there's no toveya, okay, not going to be even in any day in praticha. I'm not chayiv to pay. So they bring down the case more faithfully to the actual lashon of the Mishnah. Let's look back in the wording of the Rambam. The Rambam says 3 cases. Gizalticha, right? And again, I just, the whole like unmute and you guys talking thing is like annoying, so I'm just gonna like fill in blanks for you now. Gizalticha, which means, I don't even I'll say this, means I stole from you. Okay, it'll be sani mana. I borrowed a mana from you. Okay, and listen up. There's a very very conspicuous like left turn over here. Avicha hivkid etzli mana. Your father gave me a mana, as opposed to saying, again, as opposed to saying, you are mafkid, a mana, and I don't know if I returned it back to you or not. Okay? Which the truth is that's the way that it is presented in the Mishnah there, in Baba Kama. And the 2 on the Shulchan Aruch and Siman Ayin Hey don't speak about Avicha hivkid etzli. They speak about hivkid etzli mana. You were mafkid mana, I don't know if I give it back. I don't think it would back you. So we can make your notes up. Very interesting that the Rambam definitely speaks about a case of that your father was mafkid the money to me. Your father gave me the money. But the idea is that the even if there would have been Toveya himself, okay, the Toveya in the case of my father gave you the mana, my father is mafkid a mana by you, basically has no way to possibly know if that's really true, if that's really accurate. Tovei is a low heavy the meidak. He can't possibly really know for sure. It's not a taina about him that you owe me something at all. And then that's the what do you call it? That's the way the Rama presents the idea of I don't know if I give it back to you. And meaning the idea that had the Yorshim been coming along and had been Toveya, right? If it was the Yorshim that were, and I guess the contrast is there Toveya, is there no Toveya? So in a case similar to over here that the Rambam brings, the Toveya is a person where a person is in a position where the Tainas Bari is not really it's not really a strong not really a strong Tainas Bari because the other guy he doesn't it's not his Tain, it's not his issue that's there. So we create a from the Rambam here once again, okay, that even in a situation where the thing going against me is not 100% clear, right? Because the Tainas Bari is not really a Tainas Bari. I'm gonna end up being putter for such a thing, and that doesn't have to do with any data in the Pratifa. We pointed yesterday, Sharmish, but right like that in Siman. Okay. Now, the Rashba that we discussed yesterday, when he was discussing the case of the 2 Kitei Eidim, right, who saw a loan be returned, but it was questionable whether or not the money that was thrown back to the Malveh actually made it to the Malveh. There was a stira between the 2 sets of Eidim. So the Rashba there very, very clearly writes that in theory is a situation in Yadeya im Praticha, and you really should have been chayiv to pay. Okay? The din that the Gemara speaks about is maybe split the money, but you should be chayiv to pay everything. Any day in Praticha. The Rashba gives a terrace to that. The same Rabbi Kiva points out that the Rashba seems to not agree with what we were just discussing within the Rambam. The Rashba seems to be holding over here that even in a case where the Tovei himself doesn't actually have a real, actual, clear Tainas, but he might say, you owe me the money, right? But the Maisa, like, we understand that it's not a clear, absolute kind of a Taina. There's an objective suffix. There's 2 Kitei that are fighting about things over here. Yet the Rashba says that should have been the case. That should have been a case of any Odeya in Pratich, where you should have been chayiv aliva the kuliyah. Okay. Now, even though that the Kavanas Rashba is a little bit debated, the presentation of the Rashba we just this game right now is found in Exos and Simanai. There's a Chazon Ish who argues with that understanding of the Rashba, but the Pashup Shah and the Rashba is the way we were just explaining. Okay, in the case where there is a suffix in front of us, in a case where we don't really know, like the Torah is Nusach, right? Is that you owe me the money, right? And we don't know, right? Because it's not clear that the money was actually shut back in the place that was qualified as a return of that money. And the Rashba says that's called Eni Yodea Im Praticha, as long as, again, there's the Tainas Bari, because it's formulated as the Tainas Bari, and the other guy knows that there was a chov, not clear if it was paid back. That's enough to be chayav. And again, Chiddush in the Rashba, despite the fact that objectively we see that this is something that should count as right. So that was the machlokas that we had between the Rambam and the Rashba. What would happen if the Tainas Bari is a Tainas Bari, where we can say it's, to use the expression again, low heavy leila meida. You're offering up the Tainas Bari that is really less than clear if that is a conclusive, strong kind of a Taina. You're phrasing it like a Bari. We look at this and say, okay, we're not really so sure what would have been true either, because the kids are timing on behalf of the father, your father. The father was the one who would lent the money, or was mapping the money. The Rashba's case, where there was just an objective suffix formed by the two Eidim, like that. So we pointed out, I think we pointed at the end, yes, I hope we got this far, is that machlokas, though, whether or not it's actually called when the Taina of the Tovea is in such a way that it's low heavy leila meida, that he can't really know for sure if like his Taina is actually really, really strong and true. So that also now should be totally in the different shitas that we have that explain what exactly the pshat and the Enidei and Praticha is all about. So let's work through. The Rashba that we saw is saying it's Enidei and Praticha, even though it's not a strong, it's not the Tainas bar. The Rashba is it has to be this way in Svara, okay? But the idea that the cat the Enidei and Praticha is based on a super bari. This is an exaggerated bari v'shema over here. So that can't really be true, because there's no bari v'shema in the case where the Tainas bari is a clear what we call a bari garua. Like it's just not it's not a real Tainas bari that's being offered over here. Let's remember the idea that the Taz spoke out about the concept of a chezkas chiyuv, right? But a chezkas chiyuv to be motzi mamon required some taina, as we learned yesterday in the Beis and Levi. The chezkas chiyuv v'tziruf with a tainas bari is able to be motzi mamon from the person who's a muchsa. But in a case where the guy's tainas bari is faulty, right, is deficient, is not so strong, not so powerful, the quality of that bari is definitely not there. Hey, you're going to be hard pressed to say that kind of a bari plus a chezkas chiyuv can be motzi mamon, and that really shouldn't be true. It's not really an actual bona fide tainas bari. On the other hand, if you held like the Rif, right, that the idea is ein safek motzi midei vadai, so then what the Rashba was learning, could make sense. There was a chov, right? Everyone knows that there was a chiyuv, right? There's a suffix given those the piron, ein safek motzi midei vadai, and you should be chayiv. That would seem to be the emdah, the stance, and the position of the Rashba. Now the Rambam, right, who's the one who's saying that, you're totally potter. That is not an example of Eni Yodea in Praticha. I'll leave the Rambam. What you end up saying is that or at least you certainly could end up saying over here, is that Eni Yodea in Praticha, that whole chiyuv is all you said, so based on the idea of a heightened concept of bari v'shema. Right? Sometimes bari v'shema beats out over chezkas mama, but the Rambam now will add, but that's only true if the Tainas bari was actually a good, strong, like legitimate tinus butter that you're offering is something that we know it is faulty, that like you can't possibly like really know the truth about what you just said. So then, yeah, that's what the Rambam says. You're going to be putter. In that case, where the tinus is about the father's money and not about the children's money themselves. Moving on, weiter. We're racing against the clock. We still want to try to do. Next nafkamina. If I'm not mistaken, this is nafkamina number 4, I think. A, B, C, D. 4 in the list over here that we discussed. Again, let's chaz over quickly some of the questions that were here. The one question is whether or not you need a taina. Do you need a taina in order to have bari b'shem bari adam? Could you have any idea praticha when I'm admitting on my own that I owe you something, even if you didn't ask? Okay, that was, and we saw whatever the different shitas would have been about that. We had nafkamina, the case of the shach, right, about the suffix piron before the shas achiyuv, right, and we discussed with those different ideas. That was nafkamina number 2. Nafkamina number 3 on my list at least is the question that we just dealt with over here, which is the case of even if I assume that you need a tainaz bari, what happens if the bari is faulty? If the bari is not so strong? C, D, okay? A fourth nafkamina, sorry, it's counting the list. A fourth nafkamina that's there is going to go back to the case of the taz that we raised yesterday, that we discussed yesterday. The taz is case of where I paid you back the money that I owed, right? And then the malva comes back to me and says, hey, some of the coins are forgery, gave me back monopoly money. It's like a classic move, right, to try to do that, nice and yeshivish. Hey, you still owe me some more, you still owe me some more money, right? And the Taz Pascha that he felt that was not called Eini Yadeya Imperativa, despite the fact that like it had all the trappings of that. I was chayiv, I'm admitting I was chayiv, and it's a question about the pirod. Afal Pike, the Taz is very clearly right that is not called Eini Yadeya Imperativa, and he explained why. So that, of course, now though, that idea is going to be a lead-in to something that's a very clear document. The Taz, of course, felt that that's not called Eini Yadeya Imperativa, right? And the reason behind that was because the Taz's whole approach to the idea of Eini Yadeya Imperativa was the concept of a chezkas chiyuv. If there's a chezkas chiyuv, then you have to pay. In this case, where you already paid back, and the chezkas chiyuv was canceled, doesn't exist anymore because I paid you back, and now we're coming up with a new taina. So despite the fact that all the words in the script equal up to a case of you owe me money, and the other guy says, yeah, I know I do, I'm not sure if I paid you back, that's not going to be called Eini Yadeya Imperativa according to the text. Now, the ksos that you saw in Siman Ayin Hesiv Kanva, there are more things in that ksos, but this is one part of the ksos that I gave you. The ksos there says that not everyone agrees. The Taz himself points out that this is a shayla that came up. He doesn't give you all the mamakomas. He says this is a question. I'll tell you my opinion. The ksos brings down from a Chubas Marash Dam, Choshemisha Siman Pei. He says that's called Eini Yadeya Imperativa. And the ksos points out that the Shach quotes that Marash Dam, and the ksos says he thinks that by the fact that the Shach cites Marash Dam, and he still means that the Shach holds of that as well. So according to the ksos, there's a machlokas now Shach and Taz, classic names to argue in a Shulchan Aruch. Machlokas Shach and Taz about the case of the guy coming back and claiming that the money is mizuyo. Now let's work through what the svara is that machlok is. Of course, if you hold like the Taz is a svara, then what the Taz says is true. That's what he says. He says his svara and he explains his psak-din. So the Taz surprisingly holds like the Taz. As a matter of fact, that's what the Taz says. His halacha. Now, what are the cholkim on the Taz? What's the counter opinion that's there? So obviously, they don't agree with the idea of the chezkas chiyuv because then you would agree with the Taz. So mistama, if you held of the idea of ein safek motzi midei vadei, it's not crazy at all in a case like that to say there was a vadei chiyuv, and there still is a safek, right? if the chiyuv was actually ever, discharged at all, dispensed at all. Okay, so maybe the guy is still going to be kind to pay back, and that seems to be the position of the Medrash Dam. Now, it's also hard to say that that's a case of heavy Leila Meida, right? Remember the idea we discussed from the Tosis of Rush. That part of the Paticha is that the Bari, the Shema is extremely garua. That is extremely garua. So the truth is, it's hard to say that that's true over here also. It's actually sounds like pretty fair that the Lova would say, I'm not sure if that money that you're showing me is the core that I gave you back. That's Mizuya. It's not mukhrach at all that that's called heavy Leila Meida. So once again, the Marash now really does fit best with the idea of in Suffolk Motzi Midei Vadle as opposed to some of the other svaros that were there for Eine Yodeya Im Praticha. Okay? Okay. Okay. Moving a little bit more into the finishing line to stretch here. We have like this. Now coming number 5. Now coming number 5. There's another fascinating case. It's actually don't have this on your sheets, but I'll fill it in for you anyway. It's based on Mishnah Lamelech in Perek Daled Halacha Aleph in Hilchos Shelo Pikada. And the title of what I'll call it, is what happens in a case, is there a din of Eine Yodei and Praticha that you're chayav in a case where the lover who borrowed the money was low heavy Leila Meida, right? Where like it's totally excusable and totally understandable that the guy who's saying, yes, you lent me money, but I don't know if I paid you back. If that's a legitimate taina, again, we can come up with different cases. They have examples there. What exactly that was all about. If you want to take a look inside, but is that called a Yudea in Pratich or not? The Mishnah points out that the key in his opinion is that for sure is a case where you're going to be potter. Okay? Any time that it's legitimate for the lover to make the claim of Eine Yodea in Praticha, and we can't force him for that, and it's not suspicious that he should say something. Says the Mishnah, you're going to be potter. That's what do you call it? The Shema Tov. That's a strong, legit Shema that's there. And you're not going to be chayav. Now, the Mishnah Melech himself points out that he thinks, okay, that Rashba that we had in Masechet Gittin, that Chaim Ches, argues on that point as well, right? Because the Rashba was still applying the idea of Eine Yodei and Praticha in a case where the lover can't possibly know if the loan was paid back at all. Right? The money was thrown, right? And I know we thought it got paid back. But then you have the contradiction between the two sets of data. Was it car of the Malva? Was it car of the Love? But you can't expect anything from the Love to know anything to steer between two sets of Adam. There's a Hakasha, that's there. But yet the Rashba says that should have been called a Praticha because he had a tiny party and he doesn't know if it was actually paid back or not. Says the Rashba is supposed to be chayiv for that. So the Mishnah Melech notes that according to the Rashba, even in cases where it is legitimate, that the lover doesn't know if the money was paid back, despite the fact that he was chayiv, that's still going to be called Ein Yodei and Praticha. So you have machlokus in Mishnah Melech, and as he says, and the Rashba about that point. So again, running through the svaros over here, we certainly see what that machlokus should be based on. If the chiyuv is based on the model of Bari B'Shema, okay, this is like a super example of Bari B'Shema. So this is sort of obvious, right? Unless it's a Shema that's Garua and a Bari that's Tov, then you don't have that kind of super Bari B'Shema that overrides Eiches Gazmama. In a case like this, where the Shema is Tov, right? That's a legitimate Shema. Right? The two Eidim are contradicting. Where the money fell, you can't fall below there for that in the slightest bit. So yeah, the Mishnah Melech says rings very, very true. In that case, that's not called Ein Yodei in Praticha. If the din of any democratic is based on the idea of a cheskas chiyuv. It has to be a tainas bari, it's zero with a cheskas chiyuv. Okay, so then it certainly can make a lot of sense to say that even in the case of low heavy leila meida, where the load is not at full for not knowing if the money was paid back, you could still definitely understand the argument that you would be chayav to pay back in that case, like the medayik from the Rashba, because listen, the guy has there's a tainis bari, there is a cheskas chiyuv that's there. How much does it really matter to me? That's low heavy leila meida. So you're right, it's a shema tov, but lamaisa, I have a bari. There's a chazaka going against you, the cheskas chiyuv. So you're going to owe the money. That point, by the way, we just made it also made by the same true that based on Levi that we've been discussing yesterday. Okay, last and final nafkamina for now, and then we're going to move into some Q&A time. Depending on how much time we actually have, I have to see if we're going to totally finish everything up. It's as follows. What happens in a scenario, nafkamina number 6, I think I'm right now. Sorry, I got to count the numbers on fingers. Like a 2-finger count, the actual 2-hand count for that one. And the next nafkamina also appears in that Rashba, the idea of no let a suffix lefaneinu. No let a suffix lefaneinu. When I have a scenario where exactly like the Rashba's example, the question of whether or not the money was paid back was something that originated as Rashba calls it lifaneinu, like right in front of a shiny hasam in the Rashba, like a lion shapuro, hachari no let a suffix zeh lifanecha. Here you see the suffix arose right in front of you. 2 kite eder. It was paid back. It wasn't paid back. Or low. No less than the says the Rashba. There. That's not called any day in praticha, and that's why the Rashba says you're going to split the money in that kind of a suffix. And we don't automatically say that the love has to pay everything. Okay, so here, just now start off, the Rashba is the one who says, okay, when you have something that's called no lad has suffix lifaneinu, when the I don't know is something that arose right in front of us, we all see that this is a doubtful situation. So you don't even load to claim that it's like we see that we don't know if the loan was paid back. Right? We have that idea. It's not the taina of the loan, it's that there's a suffix here. Like we see, there's a suffix. We don't know what happened. None of us know what happened because there's using that case, but the Rashba says that's not called a praticha, and they're going to be potter. Now, what you had in front of you is a kestosis in shin, what's usually called shin dalid mem, because the word shin mem dalid spells out the word shmat, right? Persecution, which Jews don't like saying that word much, but that hasn't been so good for us. All kinds of like persecution over the years. So we usually actually when we write that title and we switch to that, usually again the computer didn't do that. We usually write out shin dalid mem. Okay, so the kestosis there. In that segment, whatever that segment is called, brings a raya from a Rambam. You listen carefully now. That in that case, you're totally potter. The Rashba says you split the money, right? There's a suffix that you split it. The Ksos brings a raya from the Rambam that you're potter legamrei, and then just to lay things out, what we'll see if we're going to read inside. The Ksos, though, basically demonstrates from the Nemukei Yosef that we also didn't read inside yesterday, but we just spoke out. That was in Nemukei Yosef who dealt with why is the case by the Sha'al Para and Sachar Para, right? Why was that, yes called or not called, a case in Edei and Praticha? So the Ksos brought a raya from the Nemukei Yosef, but the Nemukei Yosef says that in that case you're actually chayav to pay. Anyways, no less suffering lefaneinu. Now the Ksos is making an assumption right now that the case of the dead cow is called no let a suffix lefaneinu. Like what the Ksos means by that is something, and he just says it, he doesn't really explain. I mean, some of what the Ksos is referring to is like the bottom line is there's a dead cow, okay? And the cow didn't have like a timer on it that says when it was going to die. We have a dead cow. We don't know. We don't know when it died. So the Ksos claims that that's also called the case of no let us suffer lefaneno, and therefore he assumes that the Yosef is going to argue on that territory of the Rashba, and even in case of no let us suffer lefaneno, if there's the Tainas Bari, and the other guy says, "Oh, I owed you the money, but I don't know if I got paid back." Says the Yosef, if you're going to be chayiv, so you're going to be chayiv to pay. That's also for the Engedim Pratika. Now, in the COVID Shir that you had, the final Marimakum that was there, so Rabbi Chanan says that this discussion of a no let us suffix lefaneno, right? When there's an objective suffix, the suffix isn't just based on the counter type of the loader, but it's not a suffix to us based on what we see. So Rabbi Chanan says that also that machlokes is definitely going to be based on the same svaros that we've been discussing all along. As much as we're going to say that any of their pratika is based on the idea of a cheskas chiyuv. I'm starting to be chayiv, and I'm chayiv, unless I can prove otherwise. So even in the case of no that a suffering of faneno, there was a cheskas chiyuv. We know that I owed you the money. Now we have this question because of the shtei Edim, but there is a cheskas chiyuv. So Rabbi Chanan argues you should be chayiv to pay in that that kind of thing. Which would explain why the Ksos thinks, according to the Muki Yosef, that you're going to be chayiv to pay back in those kinds of cases. That's called a nola something of faneno. Is a cheskas chiyuv you got to pay. If the svara is in suffix motivate vadai, right? So you have to pay when it's any day in pratika. So it is definitely possible to claim that concept of ein suffix motivate vadai might be only when it's not no less suffix the fanina. Meaning when there's a kind of issue, I say you owe the money, and the other guy says back, oh yeah, I did, but I don't remember if I paid you back. So there, we definitely hear the idea of ain't something most of me they vade. In the case of a no let us suffix with faneno, on the other hand, we have an objective suffix, right? The Adam are establishing a suffix that's there. So maybe we would say that an objective suffix might be enough to say that we would be motzi midei vade, right? Meaning to say, I know that you are chayiv, but let's call a spade a spade. We also see in front of us that there's a real suffix about that chiyuv. Right? Now again, I'm going to fill in the blanks for you. If we see that there's a real suffix, whether or not that chiyuv is still in place, it's not a crazy jump to say that at that point the principle that we're going to use is apply a cheskas mama. We're not sure if the loba owes the money, right? Because there actually is a suffix objectively in front of us right now, yeah. And don't come with the idea of ain't suffix motivate vadai, because we have a suffix if there's a chiyuv. Suffix if there's a chiyuv, and I'm holding on to the money. I have a cheskas. Why should I have to pay you? At all. So that definitely could be the background behind the idea of the Rashba, who says that no, that a suffix lefaneno, to not something lefaneno, or the Rama or the Rashba, but you're going to end up being positive from paying. That is not an objective automatic case of any odeya in pratika. Yeah, we should point out that whether or not the case in Bhagavad of the para dying is that called a suffix no let a suffix lefaneno, that probably is also like a little bit of a question. It's not necessarily so pashut what the Ksos says, but that's called a no let a suffix lefaneno. I'll just give an example why in learning that might not be totally true. According to the way we analyze things right now, the Rashba himself, right, is the one who says that when know that something the final, that's not called in the praticha, and they can be part. Right? It's not automatic here. If you look above Metzia, on that same sug, it's Aribov to Sari Zayin, okay? The Rashba discusses himself. The Rashba himself discusses, the idea of, is that case of the Sheila and the Skura, is that a case of Eni Odea in Praticha? And the Rashba learns exactly the same as in Uke Yosef. That is a case of Eni Odea in Praticha, right? Except for the fact, except for the fact that maybe the order of the mission is Lav Davka, right? Maybe it was at the Steros took place before the Sheila, and so on and so forth. So the Rashba there says that is a case, right? If the case is exactly the way it's said in the Mishnah of Sha'ala Chetzi and Sachara Chetzi, that would have been a case of Eini Yodei and Praticha, and you would have been Chayav. You have that? I mean, if that's the case of Nola somebody else, maybe he's going to steer in the Rashba, right? Because the Rashba itself is the one that says Nola somebody else is not called Eini Yodei and Praticha, right? So why would it be saying that the case in Bav Mitzia, right, about the Shal Para, Basachar Para, why would we say that that's called Eini Yodei and Praticha? That's the case of Nola somebody Lefaneno, right? So maybe the pshat over there is that that's, as you pointed out in a minute, maybe that's not really called Nola Safi Lefaneno in that particular case. There is a Beis Yaakov from the Nesivos on Daf Tes, and our Gemara is on Daf Tes, who brings up what do you call that Gemara, but he very clearly says that that's not called the case of Nola Safi Lefaneno at all. The Mashal is making his claim, the Shal is making his claim, and and so on and so forth. Not Pasha, but that's called a no that a suffix, Lefaneno at all. So maybe there's not really any kind of dispute between the Rashbas, and that theory would make a lot more sense. But that case is not 100% clear, but at least according to the Ksos, you have such machlokas. So nafkamina number 6, if it's a nafkamina, is at least going to be totally in how to understand exactly the case of Shalom Chetiyayom and Zachara Chetiyayom. Okay, so now I tried to streamline things like a little bit so we can just get like some of the the nafkaminas down pat, which is what we just did. That is going to be the end of the sugya of Einei Yom Prati.